The Edmonton Oilers return home to Rogers Place after their 5-game roadie. No rest for the wicked, though, dude, as they come home to a heavyweight matchup against the Vegas Golden Knights, the division rivals going head-to-head. First time this season, first time since the second round of the NHL playoffs, where, speaking of beltness, the Edmonton Oilers took the belt to the Vegas Golden Knights in that one. 5 games. Oilers Golden Knights, always a good one. Expecting more of the same this evening. But hello, what up, and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Bet365 19+. Please play responsibly because you know it. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Dre is in the chat, and he simply says, Liam, who is wearing his finest football jersey today, as am totally unplanned. Lions playing right now. Patriots, the Sunday nighter. It's a Pats Oilers fan's dream tonight, Liam. A double 65-inch TV in the basement. I'm excited for this one. I've already got my oodle noodle order in the cart. I haven't ordered it yet. I have to deliver like first intermission type dealio. But Liam, how we doing, brother? How was the Sunday? How was the weekend?
The weekend was good. Yesterday I finished my Christmas shopping, unlike Brett was telling us before, hasn't touched his Christmas shopping yet, which I thought I was pretty late. Evidently, I am not as late as the bread man. So that was good. Last night, got into the festive spirit, watched Harry Potter 1. So that was really good. And Sunday's been good so far. Went out and played some squash at Glen Allen Rec Center. And then now I'm watching my Detroit Lions piss their season away because they're a bad football team.
What a lovely, fully loaded weekend, Liam. Yeah, Brett, no Christmas shopping done by December 21st. That stresses me out to even think about. This year, I went all virtual. I got everything done online. I didn't go to a single store this year. First time ever. Feel very organized. Have I wrapped a single gift yet? Of course not. That's made for Christmas Eve when I've had a couple beers in me and we're feeling good.
Liam, you don't have to help me. I told you guys that in confidence, and people that I know watch this that I've recently told that I have bought their presents. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Throwing Brett right under the bus on live air. We love that. We appreciate that. Liam, it's a rule. Never talk about your fantasy team because no one actually gives a shit about your fantasy team. But are you in any semifinals matchups right now? Because I'm in 3 of them, and I'm projected to move on to 3 separate finals right now or get my heart ripped out of my chest later on this evening. What about you?
I am currently in the semifinals, but I've already lost because I started Jackson Dart today, who put up 0.02 points, which was a special afternoon for Mr. Dart, who, to be fair, has guided me most of the season when he's been healthy. And I was the 8th seed, and I managed to scrape my way to the semis. So I'm actually not that upset that I lost. My dad is also in my same fantasy league with, what would that be, 10 of my other friends. And he was in the Onion Bowl, which means if he lost, he would have to eat a raw onion as our Super Bowl halftime entertainment. Fortunately for him, he did not lose in the Onion Bowl. Also, people are asking, is Harry Potter a festive movie? There's certain movies that aren't Christmas movies, but movies you watch at Christmas. And Harry Potter is one of those. Lord of the Rings also might be one for others. I tend to dabble in the Harry Potter side of things around the Christmas period.
We both watched it the other night, the same night, Liam. The Holdovers, which it's not totally a Christmas movie by definition, but it's a movie at Christmas that I love dearly. But yeah, speaking of the chat, let's get caught up, see what's going on here. Austin's in, says Bordzy, fire it up, brother. My ON fam, belts, leather, beer. Let's fucking go. Austin's a simple man. He just needs 3 things in life. Dre's in. Big game for Ingram. Hopefully we get a W for him. Vegas Bucks. He said Vegas is playing like garbage right now. Easy win. They lost last night at Calgary, giving up 6 goals to a team that can't score. They are also without Eichel, Theodore, and Wild Bill Carlson. I do believe before yesterday, the Vegas Golden Knights had points in 8 straight hockey games. So I don't know if I would necessarily say they're playing bad. Could also argue they might be motivated after getting schlacked by the Calgary Flames last night, which is Not something that you want to be very proud of. Toke King, shout out to that name. I have this feeling that Ingram is either going to get a shutout or leak 4 to 6 goals on the first and get pulled. That's the Stuart Skinner still in your brain and still in your heart, and the nervousness that comes with never knowing what Oilers goaltending is going to be. Fighting Amish, he's cautiously optimistic. I want Ingram to do well, and Edmonton is kind of a landing spot for misfit toy type of players. Christmas there. So let's freaking go. Oilers, Dre then said, we got to ride the roller coaster of emotions tonight and embrace 8 different ones. And he said, and hopefully one of those 8 are happiness and not despair. I argue somebody else said, as long as I don't finish with despair, you can't enjoy a sunny day without a couple rainy days. And something tells me there's going to be some up and downs in tonight's hockey game. Because Liam, there's so many storylines coming into this one. I was doing my pre-gaming prep. Came pretty easy. Connor Ingram makes his Oilers debut. Carter Hart, he's going to start for the Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Roslovic returns to the lineup. Trent Frederick, healthy scratched. Say it isn't so. Finally, by Chris Knobloch. No Jack Eichel for the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, once again, some games just mean more than others. It's a Pacific Division rivalry. They rank 2 and 3 in the Pacific right now. But Liam, there's a lot of storylines heading into this hockey game. There's a lot to talk about.
I didn't know Trent Frederick was a healthy scratch, so that's really is news to me on that front. What a spoiler ahead of the game, Aaron. That's crazy. Can we talk about that? Who's in the lineup for him? I saw Quinn Hudson was sent down today, which I didn't really like, to be honest. But Roslovic's obviously back. I saw that Lazar's back. Okay, that's the other player that's back. I mean, at the end of the day, I joked about it on the show. What day would that have been? I guess Friday, when I was like, Trent Fredericks had 2 good games this season where you look at them and you're like, he was noticeable tonight. St. Louis, when his entire family was in town, and Boston, when he was returning to Boston, obviously. You don't play those teams enough, Trent, to only have 2 good games in a season. So I think he deservedly comes out of the lineup. I would have been curious to see if it was Andrew Mangiapane, but obviously he got the goal yesterday, so that's a big thing for him. But I'm sure they were both kind of teetering on the edge, and once players start to get healthy, they're easily the Oilers' worst 2 forwards based off performance, based off potential. They're definitely not, but based on what they actually do on the ice and the real numbers, they've just simply not been good enough this season. And you can go along with a lot of the Oilers' depth in that regard too. Obviously, Henrique, I think, needs to play a lot better. He's kind of going onto my naughty list, I might say. His performances are just not good enough. Like, he might be a good defensive player, but I think he's a hard player to play with, which kind of makes you think, like, how do you sort this lineup out when everyone's healthy? But hopefully we're just getting to the point where players are healthy to play for the Edmonton Oilers.
And I think players being held accountable, like Freddie here hitting the press box, that's a good thing for the Edmonton Oilers, because you want healthy competition in your lineup. We know the bottom 6 has been struggling. Shout out Andrew Mangiapane. Finally got off the schneid. So now Rico, he's the next guy that we got to get going there. But yeah, didn't know if we'd be seeing it. But Trent Frederick, some late breaking news here coming in that he's going to be watching from up above. But Liam, the Edmonton Oilers, they return home after a 5-game road trip that spanned over 8 days. They go 3-2-0 on said road trip. Wins over Toronto, Pittsburgh, Boston. They lost to Montreal, and then, of course, to Minnesota. Overall, I think Oilers fans are pretty happy with this road trip when you consider. I mean, dude, the road trip started with a franchise-altering trade in net for one Tristan Jarry. He then comes in and immediately goes down 8 periods into his Oilers' tenure. Edmonton, above that, was dealing with multiple injuries in multiple other places. A lot of fresh faces in the lineup over this trip. We heard Spencer Stastny give an interview with Gene in the last game saying, I've never even been to Edmonton before. I've never played in Rogers Place. So he's excited for tonight. And then you get the fact, Calvin Pickard, he's definitely, we'll get into the Tristan Jarry update in just a second, but I think Calvin Pickard, he's got a bit of a runway here with the Edmonton Oilers, and 2 appearances, 2 solid games 4 picks. We all know he was borderline unplayable to start the season. A lot of us wanted to see him sent down, waived, traded, who cares? But here we are, Calvin Pickard, and I thought he was pretty solid in the last game. He's kind of given you a chance to win in both of these appearances against Boston and then, of course, against Minnesota. But overall in this trip, with everything that you play into it, all the injury factors and everything, I think the Oilers played pretty well. I'm curious what, I don't know, maybe letter grade you'd give it. I feel like the Oilers played 4 out of 5 good hockey games on that road trip, and I'm taking that as a general positive with the current state of the team's health.
Yeah, Brett, can you pull up a schedule again? I think I'll give them a B, just based off, yes, they obviously won 3 games, and the Minnesota game felt like it was a scheduled loss based on circumstances. The Toronto game was good, obviously, so that's a promising one. I thought Montreal and was obviously bad. They didn't have any offense, but the Pittsburgh game, I felt like the defense should have been better. So although they were winning games, and I'm not trying to nitpick it too much, but I think that they could have played better. Like, they could have beat the Montreal Canadiens that night, but they didn't. I'll even go down to like a B-. I mean, at the end of the day, they played 5 games, won 3 of them, and were unconvincing in 2 of them.
I was going to go B- as well. It's nothing you can't be mad at a 3-2 record. It's above 500, and you can't be mad at a B- is kind of the way I feel about that. But I mentioned Calvin Pickard, the runway he's going to get. Connor Ingram is expected to get the start tonight for the Oilers, making his debut. But Liam, we just got another update on our new goaltender, Tristan Jarry. Brett, pull it up. He is expected to be out a couple weeks, according to Gene Principe, according to one Chris Knobloch. So with Chris Knobloch, who knows how long that actually means? But I mean, hey, in the one positive, I say at least we can all stop trying to play doctor and I diagnose the injury of whether or not he skated off the ice under his own power, this or that. We know he's going to be out for a bit. There you get a look at his numbers overall this season. He was 2-0 with the Oilers. And in that last game against Boston, damn it, he was looking good. He had stopped pretty much everything that was coming his way. So, I mean, a couple weeks, who knows what that is? And this is really, Liam, just you sit back, you kind of have to laugh because this is pretty much worst case scenario when the trade went down about a week ago, 9 days ago. What do you think about the news a couple weeks? We always discuss and, talk jokingly about Chris Knobloch, that whatever timeline he gives, add on a couple weeks. So maybe a couple weeks squared if you think about it like that. But never good news hearing that your freshly acquired starting goaltender is going down for multiple weeks after he's played a whopping 8 periods of hockey in the Oilers jersey. Liam, no way to slice it. That sucks.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good timeline, though. I mean,
I just don't know what a couple means. That could be anything.
Yeah, it could mean anything. I mean, I my prediction on O&R on Friday is that we see him on the New Year's Eve game, which would line up for a couple of weeks. So the reason I picked that game is because they go on a little mini road trip against Calgary and Winnipeg. Boston's the first game home after that. I would suspect that's kind of when it would be, but it is what it is. He got injured. Like, what do you want to do? Like, we can all sit here and complain that he's injury prone, whatever you want to say, but guys are going to get banged up whether we like it or not, whether they're injury prone or not. Sometimes shit's going to happen, and unfortunately it happened to the goalie that the Oilers just acquired, and you can all scream and shout of what you thought of the trade in the moment and whatever, and Lance puts in there as, how many games do we miss Stu? Honestly, 0. Because Stuart Skinner doesn't play in Edmonton anymore. He plays for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Oilers absolutely lit him up in the game that they played against him. So I miss Tristan Jarry. I'm not even thinking about Stuart Skinner, to be honest. So yeah, I think we just need to wipe it out of our minds and stop. We were also separate as a fan base before when it was like, we love Stuart Skinner or we hate Stuart Skinner. It's like, doesn't matter anymore. Just Tristan Jarry's your goalie, and you can't all be sat there being like, oh, well, he's injury prone. Oh, no, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. He's the goalie of the Edmonton Oilers. He's out for a couple of weeks at least.
Either get on board or get left behind, because Tristan Jarry is the goaltender of the future for the Oilers. And I guess we're going to go spin zone. Pregaming is all about positivity and optimism. Liam, the emergency plan was always there, and it was always going to be Connor Ingram. That's why they made the move to acquire him this summer from the Utah Hockey Club in a deal where Utah retains $800,000 of his 1.9. You put him in the minors, and the plan, I mean, the hope was that you'd never need injury insurance in Connor Ingram. But as you just mentioned, it's the NHL. It's simply not how things work in reality. And here we are, happy to have Connor Ingram ready to go with, there you see it on your screen, 11 appearances in the AHL with Bakersfield. Now, you might say, Bordzy, those numbers look wretched. They look like Calvin Pickard's numbers. And I'd say, yes, they do look bad. But Liam, we know this, and this is just kind of a generality with the AHL and the minors. Devin Dubnyk has told me this multiple times before, that don't take so much, whatever word you want to use, into these stats. I'm blanking on it. That in the AHL, it's a very chaotic game in front of goaltenders, and that you cannot really read into the statistics. As guys they're playing for themselves, they're selling out a little bit more, and just a lot more chaos out there on the ice. But back to Stan Bowman, right? This was always the emergency bullet in his hypothetical gun, right? If you will, that unfortunately they need to use that bullet right now. But Connor Ingram has had success in the NHL before, just a couple seasons ago. He put up back-to-back .907 save percentage seasons. He has a career .902 save percentage. He played 48 starts for the Arizona Coyotes just a couple years ago. We all know the history. He won the Masterton Award, or Masterton Trophy, back in 23-24. And then he entered the player assistance program with undiagnosed OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So I could only imagine how that must have plagued him and kind of bled negatively into his game. You see the stats in the AHL, but we know that this dude has found success in the NHL before. And Liam, like I said, this was always the emergency backup plan. Just happens to be that we are in emergency right now.
We are in emergency, to say the least. I think obviously the hope was that it would be starting goaltender Ingram replaces Pickard, but you've had a guy who's coming up, and I agree. The word you're looking for was stock, by the way. And you're right. And someone put it in the chat on Friday too. I think it was Wise Kyle. And he was saying, he's like, look at Carter Hart's numbers when he was in the American League for those 2 or 3 games, whatever ended up being. Comes to the NHL, and I think he was at like a 9-10 or something like that, maybe a little bit higher. Like, either way, his numbers are good, whatever they may be. And it comes down to what your goalies are going to do, and if they're going to stop the big chances and stop the easy ones, like, is an easy way to put it. Of course, but like, your defense just has to play well. Like, just play well in front of this guy. Like, block some shots. Like, make it difficult for Vegas to create chances. And Vegas, I know we'll get into it, but they're missing some bodies tonight who would be part of the offensive game that they like to have, and they should struggle because of that. So I think tonight I don't have any expectations for Connor Ingram, because it would be unfair to do that. I have expectations that the Edmonton Oilers should bear down defensively and maybe even play their best defensive game of the season based off the circumstance. You need to build some confidence in Connor Ingram, and clearly he's not had much help defensively in Bakersfield. So it's time to come up, and it's time for the Oilers blue line, which was rated #1 in the NHL, to play a good game.
We know that they're fully capable of it. We've seen it in spurts this year for the Edmonton Oilers. And when you think of the Oilers at their best, when I think of them dummying through the Western Conference last year in the playoffs, they're a defense, defend first kind of team that makes it difficult to play in their end and successfully, cleanly breaks pucks out, clears the net in front and the danger. So, hey, hopefully we see somebody in here. He asked, is Ingram in? We expect him to be, but I don't think, or no, we did get official word. We did get official. He is going to be. So there we go. If they did Pickard back to back, that would just be wild. First things first, also want to mention Nation Vacation coming up. Talk about Vegas, baby. We're headed to Vegas in March of 2026. Available, nationgear.ca. And as you see on your screen, you can save your spot today with just a 20% deposit. If you're worried, these things do sell quick. They sell fast. So if you want to reserve your spot but maybe can't afford the entire thing right now, don't worry, you can do that. Shout out Kennedy. She does a great job organizing these trips. It is going to be an unbelievable time down in Sin City. Tonight, first time the Oilers will play Vegas, and then they'll play them 2 more times in Vegas, both in Sin City. And we're going to be there in a private lower bowl. I don't know if it's a suite type thing, but whatever it is, it's free booze and food for the whole game. Going to be a damn good time. Now back to the game tonight. We got some positive news, Liam. Jack Roslovic is returning to the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. He was activated from LTIR, and he is expected to play this evening. Now, we heard Tuesday was a possibility, and I'll be real with you. I didn't, in any reality, any alternate universe, expect to see Roslovic playing tonight. So I was fired up when I saw this news this morning. There you see the stats on your screen, his numbers this season. 10 goals, 8 assists, 18 points in 23 games. But he caught fire before he got injured. He actually had, I think it was 17 points in his last 16 games. Now, he has been out since November 25th in that game against Dallas. He blocked a shot and then missed the next 11 hockey games. Over that stretch, the Oilers actually went 7-3-1 without Jack Roslovic. But as I mentioned, he was tearing it up before that. And now when you talk about, I mean, it's a fun game. We don't for sure know the locked-in lineup combos tonight. We'll get it 8-ish minutes from now. But you think a lot of discussion has been playing this fun game of building the Oilers forward group and thinking, what can they do when fully healthy? We know the bottom 6 lately, it has needed some energy down there. It needs a play driver, somebody to be the puck carrier, puck transporter. And, you know, is that Nuge playing a 3C role? Does Jack Roslovic go back to a spot? Before he got injured, it was Podkolzin, Leon, and Roslovic tearing it up. And then we know yesterday's game, they decided to start Trent Frederick in that spot. Shockingly, Liam, that one did not work out, and he finds himself in the press box this evening. We'll find out in just a bit. Liam, obviously a huge boost for the Edmonton Oilers offensively to get Jack Roslovic back, but where do you think Nobby should be placing old Jackie Boy in the lineup?
I would put him, I'm trying to map this out in my head. I think you should put him on the first line. And I would put Nugent Hopkins on the third line. Maybe this isn't exactly what happens tonight now that I kind of run my process through it, but the bottom 6 is horrendous. Is a bad term for it because I think it's been worse. But you go Roslovic, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, Dry, Savoy, Mangiapane, Nuge. Who else would you put there? Yamak, maybe.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
And then your fourth line, I obviously Lazar would be on there. I wonder if like Thomasek could play on the third line, just in this hypothetical scenario. Then your fourth line is like Henrique, Lazar, Yamak. But I mean, either way, just with Roslovic coming back, it just gives you another offensive player. And is this the first time that Hyman, Nuge, and Roslovic have all played in the same team together?
I believe the name, shout out Bob Stauffer, ever heard of him, Fultonville Firebird's finest, but it was McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge, and Roslovic. The first game they will all play together, so it's exciting.
It is exciting. The Oilers have good offensive players, which is why I haven't totally bought into the idea that their bottom 6 isn't good enough, because I do think Kapanen would also add another layer of offense to it, and I think that's probably a reason why Bowman hasn't panicked on that side of things. Like, you look at it with the goaltender now, I would say he was fairly patient until he made that decision, in the sense of like, I need to see this team playing at their best and then decide what I'm going to do with my goalies. And I think the discussion we had before they started playing their best was like, okay, we know the Oilers can get up to here as a team, but Skinner and Pickett might still only be able to get to here as a team. So if you get Jari, can they get closer to here? The answer is probably yes. We're not going to find out for a couple more weeks. But with the bottom 6, even with Trent Frederick out, like, I think just adding Jack Roslovic anywhere in the lineup is just going to provide another layer of offense. And the best part about him is he doesn't need other guys to do it. He can do it for himself.
That's the thing about Jack Roslovic, where I don't think I'm touching the McHuge line or whatever we've nicknamed them as, because those 3 have just been so good. And that I think Roslovic, at least so far in his Oilers tenure, looks like a plug and play type player, because he looked good with Connor. He's looked good with Leon. He's looked good frankly, in every single spot he's been in, right? He even filled in on the top power play. Don't expect him to be back on that one because the Oilers PP1 is a rolling right now, but Jack Roslovic, John Jack, JJ is back in the lineup after missing 11. So that's going to be good. And you're going to need it against this Vegas Golden Knights team because this is becoming one of my personal favorite rivalries in the Pacific Division right now. Obviously, the Oilers and Golden Knights haven't played yet this year. First game since the Western Conference playoffs last season. Coming into tonight, if you look at the Pacific Division standings, Brett, do we have them there? Because the Anaheim Ducks are leading the way in first place. They got 44 points in 36 games. And then it's always weird seeing the discrepancy in games played so far this season because there's Vegas, 42, second place, but only 33 games played. The Oilers 2 points behind. So if they win in regulation, they would tie the Golden Knights for second in the Pacific. But Liam, the Oilers so far this year, the schedule, as we all know, they will now no longer play another game in the Eastern time zone for the rest of the season. They've been playing so many Eastern Conference teams that they have yet to play a game against LA, Anaheim, or the Vegas Golden Knights. They'll play Vegas tonight. They'll play Anaheim and LA once each in January, and then it is a back of the schedule type thing. There's going to be some good playoff jockey and moving around at the end of the NHL season for the Pacific Division. Now, I thank my stars every single day that we're not in the Central Division because when you look at the Avalanche, the Dallas Stars, the Minnesota Wild, oh yeah, the Winnipeg Jets who won the President's Trophy last season, I'm very thankful, but the Pacific Division this year, it is no slouch. It is still competitive. And Liam, we're only getting 3 of these games this year between the Oilers and Golden Knights. This one is going to matter. It's going to matter a bit.
Yeah, it's a vital game. And maybe your most important game of the season so far, which I don't think is an understatement. At the end of the day, you're playing the team you're supposed to be competing for the Pacific Division title for, and you're catching them at a good time, and they're catching you at a good time too, I would say, in the sense of they're missing top guys. So the Oilers need to take advantage of that tonight. As to what you said about them not traveling out east anymore, like, I think that's huge, to be honest, because you're not really going to go on these like massive 2-week road trips anymore. Like, you're going to go down to California for maybe, what would that be, 5 or 6 days? I would think something around that at the most. And 2 of the teams, you could just park a hotel right in the middle of the highway and you're only 20 minutes away from LA than Anaheim. So they've, I don't want to say they've got it easy, but they've got it much easier in the second half of the season. And I would think that probably starts tonight.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think it's not hyperbole to say that this might be the biggest game of the year for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, any game against one of these LA, Anaheim, Vegas, these are going to be talked about comes game 70, game 80 of the season. We're going to remember what happened in these ones. So vital the Oilers get 2 points. Vegas, of course, they're having another good year. They're 16, 7, and 10. So their 7 regulation losses are the second best in the NHL. The only one better are the Colorado Avalanche. But you did hear that right. 10 loser points for the Vegas Golden Knights. They have gone to 14 overtimes, where they've actually gone 4-10 in the extra frame. Last night, they were in Calgary. They got a little back-to-back Alberta road trip. It's just a 2-game roadie in which Jack Eichel and Shea Theodore both did not come on that road trip. So we will not be seeing Jack Eichel tonight, but last night against the Flames. That's why I said I think the Golden Knights are going to be motivated. They got shellacked by the Calgary Flames 6-3. I believe they were down 5-1 at one point in this hockey game, so they should be motivated. And even though they don't have Jack Eichel, they don't have Shea Theodore, they don't have Aiden Hill, they don't have Wild Bill Karlsson, this team, they still got skill, brother. Mitch Marner, remember him? Well, he's a Vegas Golden Knight, so this is the first time we get to play him. Excuse me. Got a bug in my throat. Now we keep going. Mark Stone. Now, when this dude is healthy, and he decides to play hockey, he is elite as much as we don't want to admit it. He's only played 17 of their 33 games this year, but he has 27 points, and he's only had 1 game where he didn't register a point. So he's feeling pretty good right now. So any way you slice it, they're going to be playing Carter Hart as well. We'll touch on that in just a second. But this Vegas Golden Knights team, Liam, king of the loser point, still one of the top best in the Western Conference. Interested to see Mitch Marner in these Golden Knights jerseys. I'll be real with you. I haven't been watching a ton of Vegas so far this year, but Mitch Marner, we know him. He's point per game player again this season, but hasn't been scoring a lot of goals. What have you thought Vegas so far this year with their new guy, Mitch Marner? Mitchie.
He's an interesting player because I think what Vegas needed more than anything was more scoring wingers, and Mitch Marner obviously isn't known to be like a goal scorer. He only has 6 goals so far this season. He's obviously the guy that provides more of the assists than anything, but maybe that also helps if you guys get some points. But I think when you look through, they do lack, I guess, like a legit scoring threat, I would say. Like Dorofeyev's good, but he's also a little bit streaky. I think Thomas Hertel is also a good player, and I think their other player, what was his name, Ivan Barbashev. Like, they have a lot of good players, and I think they're a good team, but I also still think the Edmonton Oilers have a better team than what the Vegas Golden Knights do. I just think they're very well coached. Bruce Cassidy's obviously done a great job there, and they kind of get these random players who step up and don't provide and provide more than you would fully expect them to be. Like, you look at this kid right now, Braden Bowman, who I was reading in Michael Menzies' game notes, is playing for the Guelph Storm. Like, he said, I don't know who that guy is. He sounds like a guy that used to play for the Crusaders, and that's about all I can tell you. So they have him stepping up. He has 11 points this season, but I don't know. Like, they're clearly trying to spread things out while these guys are away, and I don't want to make it seem like I don't think they'll do well tonight because it's Edmonton Vegas. It's like when Edmonton played Calgary. Like, it doesn't really matter who's on the rosters. It's the name and the logos on the front of each jersey that you just want to beat as individuals. So I think it'll be a good game, but I think, again, the Oilers are catching them at a really good time.
Liam, huge doink in the football game right there. Did you see it? Boswell just kicked it off the upright. Lions still alive, brother. I have Boswell in the semifinals.
The Lions aren't good enough to get this done. I'm going to be honest. Like, they're going to do some dumb shit. Oh, and there goes Gibbs getting taken on 3. Like, why are you running the ball there? Like, it's so dumb.
It's from our boy Brett. Now, as I mentioned as well, so Aiden Hill, he's been on injured reserve since October 20-something, I do believe. He's been dealing with a lower body injury, expected to be out for still a considerable amount of time, which that stinks for him, especially in an Olympic year. But that means the duo for Vegas has been Akira Schmid and one Carter Hart, who is expected to get the start tonight against the Oilers. So his first game in his hometown since signing with Vegas, taking part in a very public legal process. So, I mean, what I'd say, I'd urge it to Rogers Place faithful fans to keep it semi-respectful tonight. And then me and Pangs were joking about it. This Edmonton City booed and heckled the shit out of Dave Chappelle. So I'm sure they're going to be giving it Carter Hart tonight on Sunday at Rogers Place. Now, you think about Carter Hart, so far this year, dude, numbers very, very good. He is 3-0-2, yet to lose in regulation. Once again, Vegas, king of the loser points. He's got a 2.26 goals against, a 917 save percentage. So he has been playing pretty well since he's been signed back to this team. And once again, we don't need to get in what our opinions are of Carter Hart off of the ice, but Liam, he's been looking pretty solid on the ice in his only 5 games so far this year. And hey, crowd, get on his ass. Oilers, get in his head. Do what you can, because that 917 save percentage is going to be tough to beat this evening.
It will be. Brett, I'm just going to send you one email with 2 images in them right now. So you can do with those as you must. But we'll get those in a second. I think that I'm never worried about who the other team's goalie is most nights, unless they're like the best of the best, and then you obviously have to worry about them. But at the end of the day, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are absolutely red hot right now, and I think they're going to absolutely light up Carter Hart, to be honest. And I'm sure they know the speculation of like Edmonton Oilers. Some Edmonton Oilers fans wanted him to be an Oiler, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make it very clear that he isn't good enough to be an Edmonton Oiler with the way they played tonight. Not in the sense of like in the general scheme of things, he's obviously a good goalie, but I think they might want to embarrass him a little bit. So I hope they do, because I also didn't want him to be an Edmonton Oiler, but there's no denying the stats and the on-ice play is good. And obviously he's a local guy. So there'll probably be a few Hart fans in the stands tonight. I would say for people who are going to the game, maybe leave those people alone, because they might also just be his family and they don't.
I was going to say they very well could be his family. So try and keep it, as I said, semi-respectful out there. But hey, I'll never tell a man what he can do when he pays for his seats in a sporting event. You go nuts. Now, the Dave Chappelle thing was fucked up, though. I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that. Now, Liam, I'm sure what you said, Brett, was an ear report. So let me do the need to know information, and then we can get back to that. So need to know, brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky. Only the finest tasting meat products earn the Wilhock name, made from 100% Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products out of their Leduc location. For more information, head on down to WilhockBeefJerky.com. So we did, Brett, tough for you. We sent you two things there. And then 58 seconds ago, we just got lineups confirmed from our friend Tony Brar. So I'll let you do that while I work this maybe on the backside as well, because we got an update. We talked about it earlier. Some of the activations. Jack Roslovic going to play in this hockey game, meaning the Oilers sent down Quinn Hudson back to Bakersfield. They moved Connor Clattenburg to LTIR. And then we know Ingram's going to start. Curtis Lazar, Alec Regula. They are both going to draw back into the lineup this evening, while Trent Frederick will be health bombed. Healthy scratched, sits out of the lineup. Then, Clattenburg, LTIR. Jake Wallman and Kasperi Kapanen will be available sometime in 2026, sometime in the new year. So this is the second to last game before the Edmonton Oilers head out on their 3-day Christmas break, where they get to stay home. So they'll play Calgary on Tuesday, and then they do not play again until, I believe, Saturday. They obviously played in Minnesota yesterday afternoon. There's travel involved, and the Oilers on the second half of back-to-backs not gone well this season. They have yet to win a game on the second half of their back-to-backs. They have gone 0-4-3. Hopefully that can change against this Vegas Golden Knights team that is also on the second half of a back-to-back. Connor Ingram, he makes a start for the Oilers, making his debut in an Oilers sweater. Vegas 16-7-10, second in the Pacific, 2 points up on Edmonton with 3 games in hand. There you see it, the head-to-head between the two teams. Vegas ranks 18th in goals for per game. However, that power play, 25.2%, that ranks 6th in the NHL. They're 5th in shots. They know how to get their offense, and then this team's just good everywhere. They're good defensively, 11th in goals allowed, 7th on the PK, 3rd in shots on goals allowed. Jack Eichel leads the team in points, but he will not be playing this evening. Same with Shea Theodore. Did not travel with the squad for this back-to-back 2-game roadie in Alberta. Mitch Marner, 34 points, 33 games. Mark Stone, 27-17. And then obviously Carter Hart is going to get the start. Brett, did I kill enough time? Can you throw me up the Edmonton Oilers confirmed lineup? Shout out our boy, Tony Brar. The top line, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with Connor McDavid and Zachary Martin-Hyman. Your second line, Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl, and Jack Roslovic. So we're going with the super stoked top 6. I like that move. Then your third line, Andrew Mangiapane, who scored in the last hockey game with Rico and Matt Savoy. Your fourth line, Max Jones, Curtis Lazar, and Matthias Janmark. Flags, Liam. I'm seeing flags. Okay, nice. I'll keep going.
We're good.
Ekholm Bouchard, Nurse with Reggie, Alec Regula, and then Spencer Stastny playing his first game ever in Edmonton, ever in Rogers Place with Ty Emberson. And then obviously Connor Ingram getting the start. And I'd say, like, my storyline, what I'm watching in this game, it's tough, and I'm not going to entirely judge the guy on just how he does tonight, but I'm going to have my eye glued to Connor Ingram. And how does he look? How does he move? Because, Liam, we are in a new era of Edmonton Oilers goaltending here, where where he got an open competition, an open audition for that 1B role when Tristan Jarry hopefully gets healthy in a couple of weeks. Calvin Pickard has been solid in his last couple of games, but we're not that far removed from him being, as I said earlier, borderline unplayable to begin the season. Can Ingram regain his NHL caliber form before? And then special note, shout out Imperial, Saskatchewan. I do believe it is. I Googled it earlier. All 372 of them. Thanks for Nobby. Thanks for Connor Ingram. Let's ride. But Liam, you looking for anything specific in this hockey game? I'm sorry to do this to you as Jared Goff's driving.
No, that's okay. I think the line, they just got a 15-yard penalty. The Steelers got one for tripping, and we just got a pass interference goal. So I think we're on like the 25-yard line right now, but they will probably fall on their face. Anything I'm looking for tonight, Breadman, if you can pull up those lines for me again. I saw them there, but I think I'm looking for the top 6 to absolutely dominate. And I'll be honest, that's all I want. And they are capable of doing it. Obviously, we see them do it all the time, and you see all these comments of like, well, this is what the Oilers do when McDavid and Draisaitl are not on the ice. Like, I'd be more worried if those numbers were what happening when the Oilers were on the ice. There's no doubt those two were on the ice. Sorry. There's no denying they need help in the bottom 6. But I think when I look at this lineup, like, it's quite good, but I think there's 2 glaring holes. And one of them is Alec Regula. I just don't see a scenario when Wallman comes back how he's in this lineup. I think Stasny was significantly better in that top 4 than what Regula has been all season. Also, Donna Nurse needs to just stop dumping pucks into the corners of the ice. It is useless. He is a play killer, and another play killer just keeps being Adam Henrique, and he needs to get going here before it's too late. And I hope Andrew Mangiapane can gain a little bit of momentum as we get going, but I think this lineup looks good. I think it looks good, but I think I would let the Oilers still get a 3rd line center.
I think it looks pretty good. Shout out Larry David. You think about when they get Cheeks back, Kasperi Kapanen. I like where you could slot him in a spot there, maybe on the 4th line. Who knows how much you put? Oh my God, Liam. Oh my God, go Amon-Ra, go! Sorry, folks. Football Sunday. You're in the semifinals of fantasy. It's what you're going to get here on Pregaming, and we're going to do an After Dark possibly during the 4th quarter of the Pats-Ravens game. Oh, I'm going to be stressed, but you talk about the deep pairings there. The Oilers seem very committed to Alec Regula, and I know, Liam, how you feel about him. I know how Brett feels about him. I think I feel a little bit more positively about him than both of you two do, but yeah, you can't argue it. There's a reason he was taken out of the lineup recently, and then Spencer Stastny is kind of just grabbing my heart. I joked that I was going to take all my Brett Kulak love and throw it on Stastny, but I think I might actually be doing that. And then the other thing that you just want to mention, Jack Roslovic is there, 2nd line, right wing, goes back to his rightful spot. I always love when they say, hey, you can't lose your spot, lose your job due to injury, because this was the spot where he was tearing it up before he got injured. As I said, 17 points in his last 16 games. He has 10 goals in 23. But we all remember, took him a little bit to get going. I believe it was, he's down at the 1. Rob, this is getting stressful. Go, Jared, go. What was I saying? Something about Jack Roslovic. He was lighting it up. And like, you could argue, I made the joke that for $1.5 million, if he never returned this season, he probably would have already been worth the contract that they gave him. Amon-Ra touchdown? Yes?
No, it got called back.
I have Amon-Ra. Either way, he's going to get his spot back into the top 6. This is one that you just mentioned. Like, it's going to be cooking for these Edmonton Oilers, and that's the hope, brother. That's the hope. Let's go now. Do you got something else on the Oilers?
I was just going to say, I wonder if they use Roslovic on the power play at all. Like, I wonder if there's just like certain plays where it's like, we're going to take out Hyman or Nuge for this and we're going to put Roslovic on just to mix things up. I don't think they will often, but you never know.
I don't think they would change him out for Zach Hyman in that spot, but I do think you could see, the occasional him and Nuge swap, and it's just the argument that Roslovic is a right-handed shot, and you put him and Leon across from one another on the face-off dots. Like, in theory, That should be the much better strategic umbrella look there. But hey, man, theory's only theory. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has been hot for the Edmonton Oilers this year. Let's go now. Goaltender report brought to you by Dog Patch. Well, I'm sad to report we're not there this evening. I'm wearing shorts underneath right now. I am wearing pants. I joked about it all week, but no, I am wearing pants. Dog Patch, it's unreal. They're going to be open over the holiday break here as well. Go down there. Bring your family. They're in town. Take them down to Dog Patch. Get a delicious brunch. Get a borscht. Looks delicious. So shout out Dog Patch. Yeah, I know, right? Shout out to Ukraine. Nice. They have at Dog Patch, I found this out, shout out Wanye. The person making the borscht is from Ukraine and moved here like a year ago. And it's her grandmother's family recipe. She asked if she could make it on the menu. There you go. Shout out Dog Patch. All right, there you go. Bert, throw it up the tail of the tape between the two goaltenders here. Connor Ingram.
Hell yeah.
It's tough because those are AHL numbers, brother, against Carter Hart. His AHL numbers, 4-5-2, 404 goals against, 856. But shield your eyes. And then Carter Hart, man, 3-0-2. 2.26 with a 917 save percentage. Liam, it's not Oilers Nation every day, but damn it, the people will still get their goaltender report. Where do we aim on Carter Hart, brother?
We are aiming glove. It looks like, oh no, I guess either side is fairly weak. I just looked at that glove. Yeah, let's go glove because we also have an ear goal mixed in here. So clearly the left side of the body is much weaker than the right side of the body. But it looks like you can kind of beat him on either low glove or low blocker. So I'm sure that's where the Oilers will be aiming tonight. Who likes to go on blocker side? The Nuge. Maybe we're looking at a Nugent-Hopkins goal this evening too.
Ooh, Nuge on the power play. Death taxes. Nuge going blocky. This Lions game is stressing me the hell. I feel bad when I have to ask you something because I know what's going on right here down on my phone. For the other, Connor Ingram, right? Yep, he's going to make his Oilers debut. First game in the NHL since February 22nd of last season. He had a 9-8-4 record with Utah. He had an 882 save percentage before he entered the player assistance program on March 9th. I do believe it was. He got cleared late in August, and then he got traded to the Oilers on October 1st. Utah retained $800,000 of his $1.95 million cap hit. It's an awesome story. I mean, it's one that's just straight up perseverance. Oh my God, I can't believe that. What about
oh my God, did that count?
I don't know.
I don't know what's happening. Someone put your hands up. This is the most insane thing. So
this football game is getting wild right now, brother.
Flags all over the field. Someone got stopped on basically the goal line, but as they were getting pushed back, obviously I don't have sound on, so they tossed the ball to Jared Goff, and Jared Goff got in the end zone. But I don't know. There's so obviously everyone's just pointing everywhere. And
I assume they blew the play dead, but I also don't have the volume on, so I don't know. That looked like the craziest thing I've ever seen now.
But like these flags, I don't even know what the flags are for.
There's so many flags. There's so many. Connor Ingram, though, like I said, Liam, I'll keep going. You just watch the TV. Connor Ingram, I hope he can regain that form that he had in a 2-3-2-4. He put up a 907 save percentage over 48 starts that season. The year before, he had a 907 and just a couple less starts, but back-to-back seasons well above 900. We know Connor Ingram has NHL talent. It's just been a matter of getting through some mental hurdles, I'll put it that way. And so far, he has done exactly that. This is why Stan Bowman brought him into the organization, to see what he can do if, unfortunately, we had to have some injury insurance. And here we are, go Connor Ingram. And then the other guy, Carter Hart. You always want to give a guy the benefit of the doubt. You always want to believe in second chances. He's been very adamant that he wants to show his true character to Vegas and whatnot. I think probably a good place to choose for him to play, that you're not going to be getting very accosted or hounded in the streets of Las Vegas. I'm sure not many people know what Carter Hart is like in Vegas. And then other than that, hope he gets lit the fuck up this evening. Let's go now to the away lineup, which is brought to you by our friends at the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament coming up in January 23rd to the 25th. Going to be a good time down on beautiful Lake Mildred. They got Team Flames Nation, Team Oilers Nation, a rivalry that runs deep between the Nation Network. There's also going to be a couple other familiar faces. I believe the What Chaos guys are coming to Jasper. I know we talked to Cabby, which was shocking. He said he lived in Calgary and he's never been to Jasper. That's wild. So hopefully Cabby makes his way out there. I won't be out there. Brett won't be out there. But if you go out there, I tell you, you're going to have an absolute blast. Bert, throw it up for me, what we expect to be the Vegas Golden Knights lineup this evening. Top line, Mitch Marner. Once again, no Jack Eichel. So your top line center is Tomas Hertl with Pavel Dorofeyev. Second line, Brandon Saad with Ivan Barbashev and Braden Bowman. Riley Smith, Brett Howden, and Mark Stone there on the third line, technically. Your fourth, Cole Reinhardt, Colton Sissons, and Keegan Colasar. Your deep pairings, Noah Hannafin with Zach Whitecloud, Braden McNabb with Caden Korzak, Ben Hutton with Jeremy Lazon. No Jack Eichel. So a guy who's going to need to step up and who has been stepping up, it's Mark Stone. Now, I'll say this. I don't like watching Mark Stone play hockey. I don't like looking at Mark Stone. When he takes his helmet off, Christ, man, just shave the head. You got to give it up. But he is a damn good hockey player, and he is a leader on this team. He obviously wears a letter C for a reason. I mentioned 27 points, 17 games, only one game where he has not registered a points. And Liam, that tells me this dude's going to be on Team Canada. I remember last year watching him. I just don't like watching him play hockey. But with numbers like this, leadership like this, those numbers, they're way too gaudy to keep him off the team. He's a lock.
Yeah, he is a lock. I almost hate how much Team Canada has put into that Four Nations. Like, and based off like what assumedly their roster decisions will be. And I guess Mark Stone's playing well enough, but there's just other guys who are going to end up going who just don't deserve to be on this roster at all. And when you even think back to it, like how guys like Sorelli and Travis Konechny is beyond me. So yeah, it was a weird one, but he's doing well right now. So credit to him for that, I guess. But this Vegas lineup it seems like there's holes in it because they're obviously missing players.
Yeah, there is. Liam, I'm sorry. There's holes in the Detroit Lions season. That sucks.
Yeah. So obviously I don't really know what happened, but there was a clear pass interference call on Amon-Ra St. Brown, where he just ran up to the defender and pushed him. We got Dude Guy in here saying Lions choked. No, Lions have been ass for a lot of the season, and I have been on this train for a while. I've said this team is not very good. They have a lot of holes. They're all line. They use 3 centers today. Like how often do you use 3 in a season? Never mind a game. So that's not good. So yeah, this team was it was inevitable they were going to lose, and it just feels like if this was a poor reffing decision, which I obviously don't know yet because I'm not watching, not listening, I guess. It's just very Lions for their season to end like that because they had to win all 3 games.
Yeah, they had to win out. It's feel for you, Liam. Feel for you. Liam has been from day one pretty much this season saying it is not the Detroit Lions year. If Liam's anything, he is an honest man. And I'll give him that. Me, blind faith towards Drake May and the Patriots winning 40-0 tonight. No, knock on wood. Gonna be a good one, though. Let's go now. Speaking of bets, I should have thrown Drake May 200 pass yards into Bordzy's bankroll. It's hit every game this season, but let's go. Bet365, 19+. Please play responsibly. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. So, I can cook you up a Patriots parlay in a second, but the first one here for the Oil, we're going Bouchard, 1+ point, current -200. He has points in 4 of his last 5 games. I even went back to check the 5-game series against Vegas. Bouchard, 5 points in 5 games, just looking for 1 this evening. The second option, I picked this before I knew what the lineup was going to be tonight, so I was a little concerned if Nuge was going to move to 3C. I'd have to change this, but no, the McHugh line stays together. So I'm going Nuge, 2+ shots, plus or minus 170. Nuge has hit this in 4 of his last 5 games, and then as well, 5 playoff games last year, he hit this in every single game. And then the other one, Zachary Martin-Hyman, to get 1+ point, minus 160. He has 5 points in his last 5. He's been on a goal-scoring streak. Zach is back. You talk about Team Canada. Liam, did you see Seth Jarvis's injury when he went flying into the post? That looked painful as shit. But also, might have been a window open for Zach Hyman to be picked for Team Canada. Who knows? He's been hot lately. I'm riding with him, and all three of these parlayed together is plus 250. I wonder what it looks like if I throw in Drake May pass yards. Liam, which of these three do you like the most? And do you have anything cooked up on Bet365?
I do like all of them. I'll be going with an Oilers win tonight, to be honest. That's kind of where I'll lay my money tonight. And then I'll probably go with a Connor McDavid 2-point night, I would think. Also might look at the over. What's the over at right now? I would assume 6.5 at the very least. So I don't mind.
Minus 105.
Yeah, I think the over might be hitting tonight based off who's in goal for the Edmonton Oilers and the goals they might have to score to win this hockey game. So I don't mind that one. But Brad, you got something you want to add to the bankroll?
It's not really for the bankroll, but maybe if you put a preseason NFL bet on it, you might be a very happy man today, because with the Detroit Lions loss, the Chicago Bears have clinched a playoff spot. Clap it up, everybody. Bear down. Row, row, row.
That's not a bear.
That's Caleb, baby. That's Caleb.
Oh, that's good stuff.
God, this is so undeserving. Your team's so ass. We all know it. You're all going to get knocked out in the first round. Oh, but your team's not going to the playoffs, Liam. I do not care. Your team sucks, but we all know it.
Yeah.
You guys got NFC North bad blood. Me and Tyler got AFC East bad blood. It just feels right to get angry and hate on your friends because of sports teams you have no control over. It's what we live for. It's what we do. Should be a good one tonight. Oilers, Golden Knights going on. I guess last thing I got for you, Lehman, give me a score prediction and an anytime goal scorer. Brett, you as well. And Brett, congrats. I know it's been a minute. Caleb Williams going to get 4,000 pass yards, though. Are you guys ever going to do that? Liam, you go first. Score prediction, anytime goal scorer.
I'll say I think tonight's final will be 5-3 to the Edmonton Oilers. A goal scorer, I'll go with a simple one. I think Connor McDavid gets on the board again tonight.
Hey, I like that. Bert, what about you, brother?
I like the 5-3 call, so I'm going to tell you there. Also, thank you very much. I appreciate the congratulations. Anytime goal scorer, let's go Rosie. You know what? I'm going to toss that down on Bet365 right now, too. I think Rosie gets at least a point in his return here.
I like that. I like that. For me, I'm going to go, it's Connor Ingram. I think there's going to be some goals scored. You can't pick. I'm going to say 4-3 for the Edmonton Oilers. Overtime. I haven't heard Brett yell overtime winner in what feels like 2 weeks or so. And we know the Golden Knights king of the loser point this season. They'll keep that rolling. And for an anytime goal scorer, Zach Hyman, the man's been hot recently. I think he continues to let that roll this evening. But that will do it for us for pregame. And Liam, shout out you. You'll be joining me for Oilersnation After Dark at the conclusion of this hockey game. We got to watch your team lose in the fourth quarter during this show. Hopefully we don't watch my team lose in the fourth quarter of Oilersnation After Dark. Just have a feeling it might go like that. I just got that feeling in my plums. But either way, I love you. I appreciate you. Brett, bang up job as well. It was nice to do this one from home. Let me tell you that. Shout out to our sponsors, everybody in the chat. Oh, I appreciate you. Throw down your courtesy like, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the ON YouTube and the Sauces YouTube. They are oh so close to getting to 1,000 subscribers. That's all Ryder wants for Christmas. So be a doll and give it to him. Love you all. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. And me, Liam, and Brett will talk to you in a couple hours. Hopefully breaking down an Edmonton Oilers W. Talk in a couple hours.